You know what? Today I wanna do base tour. After all, I have something like 50 buildings done in my base area, and there is plenty to look at. So, how about we start over here? Well, this corner building was the first building I built in my base, and therefore it has my storage here on the inside. Actually, not only on the first floor, but also on the second floor. And yeah, this was my main storage throughout this season. Also, this building has a chicken farm over here. Yeah, that I use to collect feathers. And finally, up here we have the apartment. But yeah, I wasn't using my apartment that much, to be honest. Just because I always have my sleeping bag with me. But yeah, this building also has this little archway over here from where we can access my mines if we go downstairs. Next building is this one. This is a little bit smaller, but this is my villager breeder. I had some like brewing station, brewing action going on here on the first floor. However, the second floor was all about collecting the villagers and zombifying them and curing. And finally, the top floor was reserved for, yeah, these guys that are actually making villagers. Next building in a row is this one. Well, this is my gunpowder farm. Yeah, in the middle section we have the platforms with cats, and all the gunpowder is coming out down here. Yeah, in the collection system. And I also decorated around the farm, making this like tiny office space over here. And yeah, I think this building looks nice, and overall I must say all these buildings have at least a little bit of interior going on, and many of them also have some farms on the inside. Here we have the hippie van with my hippie villager. That was my main source of golden carrots for the season. But next on this corner, this is my wool farm. Yes, I had wool farm down here, getting all the colors, and also there is some living space on the top. We actually have two apartments, one over here, very fancy apartment, and another one on the very top floor. Yeah, I haven't been here in a while, actually, since I built it. So that's actually true for most of my buildings, because, yeah, if there is no reason for me to go inside them, I rarely come back to look at what I have done. So this tour actually is also fun for myself. This building right here, this is just a building for people to live in. Yeah, we're not gonna go through every single like room in every single building, because that's gonna take a very long time, but you get the idea. Next we have my like tourism agency over here, Guru MT Tours. Well, this was a joke because this building is connected through the portal to the nether, and then it comes out in a shopping district, and basically this was a shortcut from the shopping district directly to my base. Next I have another one of those buildings that are just for people to live in. Here's that kitchen on the first floor, and we have plenty of room up there as well. Yeah, if you are curious about like going in detail for every one of these buildings, I recommend just like putting on the playlist of my season 4 videos, and yeah, you're gonna see everything about them, the building process and detailed tours and everything. Next, yeah, we have this large building. Well, this is kind of like place where you buy tickets for the airport that is on top of the mountain. Here we have the like reception area on the first floor. We do have few rooms here on the second floor for rent. There's also some rooms on the third floor, and from here we can actually get to the airport itself if we follow this pathway and use this fancy elevator to get upstairs. We are at the airport, which is on the top of the mountain. Yeah, really nice in my opinion. So let's get back down. The next building on my list is this one. This is an museum. Yeah, we have some really fine art up inside of it. Yeah, we also have some art on the upper floors, and also some office space on the third floor. Yay, with a cake. Yeah, as I said, all these buildings have at least some interior going on. They are not only just facades. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. How can I not show the bathrooms? Next, let's go this way. Well, we have the closed off road to the like this natural sinkhole that we have over here. But yeah, this building right here, this is land party. This is like a throwback to the very early 2000s, where we had like these internet cafes all over the place, and people were just going to these places to play video games, games like Counter-Strike and a bunch of other online and LAN games. Next, this is my bookshop over here, where I was selling books for people to buy. And yeah, one thing with my base this season is that I was building all my shops within my base so that people would actually visit it. And yeah, so I wasn't doing much work in the shopping district because I thought this would be like a nicer thing, and it would also give a reason for some of these buildings to be like in a town setting in my base. As I was saying, here's my bookshop. On top of bookshop, of course, I have more apartments. In fact, two of them. Like, just let's take a look at one of them. As you see, very tiny apartments, but they have all that person would need for living in them. And the next one is basically the same. Yes, I have actually quite few apartments in this town over here, which is nice. I mean, it really makes this town feel like people could actually be living here because we have all the necessary space. Here we have two more shops. One is my pillow shop, and that was also the reason why I had my chicken farm. And we also have this ugly bag store, and I haven't sold any of these throughout the season. And on top of these shops, again, we have some apartments. Yeah, actually these apartments are 2 stories high, and yeah, once again we have everything that is needed to actually live in a place like this. And the second apartment is basically the same. Next, this building, this is the place where I was doing all the trading with my librarian villagers. I have all these signs about what these guys are selling and which is the book that I should buy from each one of these guys. And here we have, of course, toilets. And on the second floor there are more of these guys, actually on both sides. And this is one of those a little more practical buildings. However, it still has like upper floor, which is kind of like a lounge area for my hard-working villagers downstairs. And next, let's take a look at this building. Well, this is my iron farm. And here on the inside, of course, I have the farm itself that was producing iron for me throughout this season. I have the bone meal coming out right here just below the farm, and of course I have some villagers to trade my iron with, yeah, to get some emeralds. So this next building says Dunder Mifflin Incorporated, and that is of course because I am like growing sugarcane over here that I use to produce paper. And for those of you who has watched Office TV series, you know that yeah, it's all about the paper company. And although I must say I use the reference, I haven't made this office space to look anything like anything you see in the TV series. Next, this building is once again for my villagers. This time we have some cartography guys over here on the first floor, and on the second floor I have a bunch of stonemasons to get plenty of like interesting blocks from them. And finally, on the very top, again, we have a little bit of like a office space and lounge space with toilets for like my hard-working villagers downstairs. I was really like trying to pay a lot of attention to detail and kind of make these spaces feel like they could be actually used for work, for example, in this case, or for the living. And yeah, therefore I was trying always to put in everything that a person would be needing to like do the to make the space actually functional for the purpose that I'm like thinking about when I'm building it. And as you can see, this one again is a very tiny house for person to live in. Yeah, here behind these buildings we have like a smaller one just underneath the bridge over here. And in this building I have cows hidden in the garage, and I do have two more villagers over here that are by the looks of it kind of nasty persons. Everything is messy, but still it's just another like living space for them over here, with everything they could ever need. Well, except their freedom, of course. Next, we go under the bridge and we reach the next shop, which is selling some this redwood, which is tree type from the mod packs that we have this season. And again, this building have some living space on top. If we just enter this door, yes, this is another large living space, like yeah, with the kitchen and living room over here, and like bathrooms and sleeping area on the very top of the building. This next building is supposed to be a town hall. However, again, this ground level I'm using for some farms. In this case, I was producing a stone and basalt over here, and I even have a mud farm over here on this side. And of course, the whole interior of the top floors are dedicated for like the town hall things. We have meeting rooms and offices and everything, yeah, up here. This relatively small house is a bakery, as the sign says, and yeah, here we have just a bakery going on, like a little cafe on the inside, with like 2 floors for visitors, and the third one being the actual kitchen area. And I think this house really looks cute and I like it a lot. Of course, we have detail like ATM on the corners so that people could withdraw their diamonds when they're like shopping at my shops. And yeah, this next building, this is just a wheat farm. I have 3 floors of wheat being produced over here. This is I think the building that has the least of interior details in my base, just because it's very practical, as I was just fitting in these wheat fields in each floor. But this next one, although it is primary a shop for like these wine bottles, which is like a very nice decoration block in the mod pack that we have, I actually went full on like creating a little bit more detail. We have bathrooms, we have like this production area where we actually are growing the berries, and yeah, it feels a little bit more lived in and worked in. Yeah, not unlike the wheat farm that I was showing you before. I mean, next let's follow this street right here. Yeah, this next building made out of silt bricks, which I absolutely love, but they are pain to get. Yeah, this is another one of those buildings where people would be just living. It doesn't have any like other purpose in my town. Same goes for this one on the opposite side. Again, this is like very fancy building for people to live in. We have a lot of like space in here. And the same story goes for these next two buildings. Like this one is again just purely for the living, and yeah, even this large building is just for some wealthy family to live in. And that takes us to the last two buildings on this street. First one being another shop. This is my bamboo shop, where I was selling some bamboo leaf blocks and some regular bamboo blocks here on the first floor, and we even have like the bamboo farm itself. And once again, I'm using all the space on the second and third floor just to make another apartment. And on the opposite side, this fancy building, this is a restaurant. As you can see, we have like a bar with snacks on the first floor, with some tables, some restrooms over here. Second floor again is a very large, like a dining area over here, with even like this separate large hall that you can like reserve for your special occasions, and it can be like separated from rest of the restaurant. And finally, on the very top floor, we have the kitchen with all kinds of like detail going on over here. And behind this fancy restaurant building, we have this large house, which again is for people to live in. And yeah, this is once again very large building with plenty of rooms inside on 2 floors. Very large like living space in my opinion. And this is one of the fanciest buildings in my opinion that I have in my town over here. And if we go back outside through this tunnel, we reach this kind of like an inner garden space, inner courtyard of all of these buildings that we're just looking at. And this is backside of the restaurant. And from here we go outside and we see the next shop, which is my jelly shop or slime shop. Basically, this is one of those new blocks that came with the mods that we are using, and I was just selling this stuff over here with a little bit of story about like a laboratory on the top floor that is producing this block over here. And I think we had like, yeah, we had some office space here on the third floor. Next building once again is just for people to live in, another house. Yeah, once again, everything we need is here. I'm not gonna go upstairs, but you get the gist. And finally, we reach this large house here on the corner, which is another shop, and this is the shop that was selling fridges. I mean, I love the fridge item in the game, and unfortunately nobody bought like any of these throughout the season, but I still think that this is like a really cool idea for a shop. And behind it, behind like the storefront over here, we have this office space on a few floors. The second floor has even more desks with like this conference room and a separate like office spaces. And on the third floor we had once again this like a lounge area for the employees to take a break. And of course we have toilets here. So from the outside, if we look around, that way is the place where I was growing my trees. That is my tree farm for this season, but we're not gonna go there because we wanna get on top of the bridge. So let's follow this pathway over here that takes us to the bridge. Where is my main portal of my base? That is over here on top of this bridge, and from the top of the bridge we can actually go back to where we were before to take a look at, I think, final buildings for this this part of my base, which are the cactus farm over here. Yeah, this was my cactus farm. As you can see, cactus is growing over there, and I was using this place just to collect the lava buckets. And on the second floor, this has the Cuddly Cacti Corporation that is growing the cactus down below. And on the opposite side of this building, I had my bike shop. Again, bicycle is a very nice decorative item we had this season on like available for us. And there is also this like little park area behind all the buildings over here. With that, we have finished the first part of my base, and yeah, we should cross this bridge right now to reach the second part of my base, which is the island. So yes, as I said, as we cross the bridge, we reach the second part of my base, which is the Red Roofs town. Like, this is supposed to be an older part of my base. Yeah, much older from, if you just judge it from what we have over here. All the buildings look a little more historical. Yeah, so we start over here. This is kind of like remains of a guard tower and gate that used to be over here. And here in the distance we actually see the lighthouse, which is definitely one of my favorite builds that I did this season, as it, in my opinion, it looks really nice. And yeah, I love this design. And yeah, from here we can see that we have this woodwork shop over here with some logs and saws on the display. Again, there is a little bit of office space on the inside. Next to it we have this water mill over here, again with some office space on the inside, where if we follow this way we can also see the water wheel itself. Yeah, also this is a nice view to take a look at the bridge that is connecting my base to Sally Jane's place. And of course, in the distance, we see the beautiful mindlesses mob farm, which has become the landmark of this area of the map. Here I have another portal connecting Red Roofs to the Nether roof, and on the other side we have this kind of amusement park area right here with the roller coaster, with Ferris wheel, with bumper cars, which was an idea suggested by a viewer. Respect real person. Yeah, thank you once again for the idea. Yes, and here is another shop. Well, in fact, this is not a real shop, as I'm not selling anything to other players over here. It is just made to look like an old grocery store over here. Again, we have some office space over here, and there is living space for the owner of this place if we go upstairs. Next, there is the stable area where I keep Bob the camel. Yes, this place once again has a little bit of interior with an office space on the second floor. And we have another building for people to live in over here, with some living space downstairs, and again like bathroom and master bedroom on the second floor. Next building in the row is this one. This is my armor shop. I was actually selling full diamond gear for just like 1 diamond for the whole set. We have the fitting rooms over here, and behind this door there is this whole storage and production space for my shop, because as I was telling the story, we were actually making armor up here where we have all these like sewing machines and a little bit of office space. Next, let's take a look at this building. Yes, this is the Krabby Cabbage, or the Island Tower Inn. This is a community building. This is like an inn with a little bit of like hotel going on the second floor. So this first floor is all about having a nice dinner, and yeah, on the second floor we have some more tables, but we also have this these rental rooms over here with a very fancy living space on the third floor, which again I think would be like a really large rental apartment. Back on the outside, like, this is one of my favorite things I have built and it's just a signpost which kind of shows which road you need to follow to reach each and every base that is in proximity. Sally Jane is that way. Mindless, you can reach by following this road, and of course my base is this one, and if you want to get to my main base, just follow this road right here. Right next to the signpost we have another archway which is part of a historical defense wall right next to the bridge. And yes, this tower has like a museum inside of it. However, we also have few very angry guests over there. Next, I have these 2 small buildings. Well, this is like a photography saloon over here. Oh yeah, who remembers one of those? Yeah, like we have like a place to pose with your family up here, and just to take like a single shots for your documents over here. And I don't know since when, but apparently we have snakes sitting in this chair over here at the reception area. And this next one is just a building for another family to live in. Just a living space up here and a little more space on the second floor. Yeah. And by decorating all this stuff, I feel like I have really made this place feel a little bit more alive, and that was exactly the feeling that I was going for. Yes, this large building right here, again, this is for some rich family to live in, because this is much larger than the previous house we looked at. Again, this goes all the way up to the second and almost like a third floor over there, but As you can see, this has very like large living space on the inside and feels kind of like fancy when you take a look at it. And finally, the last building is this one, which is once again old remains of some sort of like a fortification that used to be around this town in ancient times. But right now this building is a police station where we have the reception area, we have some private detective offices like here, we have even like a dungeon and holding cells here on the basement. And finally, in top of the tower, we have some sort of like a platform going on from which people can look around this island quite easily. Okay, we see our neighbors. We can even see shopping district there in the distance from this point, which is awesome. Ooh, and Mindless is working on something over there. Overall, I wanted to say that I have put in a lot of work in this base, and yeah, this definitely is one of my favorite bases that I have ever built in Minecraft. I would even go as far that this might be my favorite one. And yeah, it's all because I have so many buildings, and I was going for like a feeling of a town, and I think I have achieved it over here, and that makes me super happy. And also the fact that like doing a tour like this, I can revisit all of these buildings and go inside and see that there is actually like a living space in each one of them, and that just makes me happy. And yes, this base has been like in the works for around 9 months, and even now I see plenty of places where I could be like expanding it if I wanted to. However, right now I want to say a huge thank you for joining me today. If you like this video, please leave a like, drop a comment, and maybe subscribe to my channel. Also, if you want to see each and every building in a like bit more detail, just yeah, watch the playlist of this season's episodes. Yeah, huge thank you one more time, and I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye. Bye 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 bye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Bye. Meow meow.